Hi everybody, this is Simon Ward of TheTriathlonCoach.com and your official Outlaw Triathlon Coach. Today I'd like to talk to you about something that's really important. It's called nutrition. Now, most of you are probably concerned at the moment about race day nutrition, but I think before you get there you need to worry about what happens with your nutrition until race day. You don't really need to make any drastic changes at the moment. I'm assuming, of course, that you're already eating pretty well, and your main focus will be on quality of the food you eat and wholesomeness. So try to avoid processed foods if you can. That is anything that comes out of a packet or a tin. So if you can grow it, pick it or catch it, that's brilliant. Now there is one thing that concerns me with athletes leading up to an Ironman. If you can come into the race lighter, then that means you can have a better power to weight ratio on the bike. It also means that particularly if you drop body fat, that if it's hot, your body will be able to deal with the heat much better. But there is a bit of a compromise here. If you're reducing calories, that may actually stop you refueling after training, and it'll also sort of inhibit the recovery process from training. So you've got to be very careful. I would be really worried if you were starting to just deprive your body of calories. A better way to do that is to look at ditching what I call calorie dense foods. So those are the processed foods I mentioned earlier, and it's what one of my friends calls random intake of calories, so things like cakes and chocolate and biscuits and alcohol. So try to eliminate those from your diet or reduce them for the next 3 or 4 weeks, and instead focus on getting nutrient dense foods. So that's the fresh stuff, the wholesome stuff. Emphasize recovery, so helping your muscles to repair, and recovery through refueling by supplying the body with quality glycogen, quality carbohydrates to restock the muscles before your next training session. And of course, in training, try to use the race nutrition. Now, High Five are our sponsors. You can find details on the website, and there'll be a link below as to where to go to find that, but you can find details of the website on the website onestepbeyond.org of exactly what's going to be available on race day and what's going to be available at the aid stations. Moving across now to race week, this is where things may start to change. Up until the Tuesday, continue with your normal eating. Aim for quality, aim for plenty of fruit and vegetables. So it's the nutrient dense foods again. From Wednesday to Friday, you want to fuel the muscles. So your emphasis would now be on carbohydrate, still some protein in there to help the muscles recover, but you'll have reduced your training volume a lot by now leading up to the race. You may have heard about carbo loading. I don't really think there's any need for you to emphasize carbo loading. If you continue to eat normally, then the volume of training will drop and you will naturally stock up on carbohydrates and refuel the muscles with glycogen. So don't worry about deliberately trying to carbo load. As you get to the day before the race, then race morning, if it's your first race, you'll understandably be quite nervous. That can make your tummy a little runny. In order to reduce these incidents of sort of potty visits, try to reduce the fruit and vegetables. If you're really worried about this, you can try this on Friday as well. So reduce the fruit and veg, reduce the fibre. Increase things like white carbs that will bung you up a little bit and will also help with the final little bit of carb refueling. Maintain your hydration, but if it is especially warm, then you might want to think about taking a little bit more salt in your diet. Don't overeat. You don't want to come into race morning feeling too heavy. Again, with the reduced training volume, there's no need to think about massively increasing your portions. Just eat normally, but aim to come in feeling quite light. On to race day. I like to start off with a nice starchy carbohydrate breakfast. Again, quite light. You're not really trying to refuel, just keep the glycogen levels topped up, and having something in your stomach does actually help to quell the nerves as well. So 2 to 3 hours before the start, my choice is some white bread, toast, a bagel perhaps with honey or jam, so what's called a high GI meal. Maybe some coffee, but don't go overboard. Once you've done that, then mix yourself a mild carbohydrate drink in a bottle that you can keep sipping on your journey down to home Pierpont and while you're getting ready for the start, and then you can chuck the water bottle away just before you get into the water. And then in the race, The rules I adhere to: 60 to 90 grams of carbohydrates per hour. You need to go with what's comfortable for you. If you've got real in-depth questions about what sort of nutrition, then you're probably best contacting me directly, but aim for 60 to 90 grams per hour regardless of body weight, based on what you can tolerate and what you've done in training, and somewhere between 500 and 750 ml of fluid per hour. Okay, there will be high five available on the course. You need to check the race info for details of what's available and also where the feed stations are on the route, so you can plan your hydration strategy. I saw some people at the Half Outlaw leaving transition with 4 water bottles, 2 bento boxes full of food, and back pockets on their bike jersey full of food. There really isn't any need if you plan out the nutrition correctly. So that's it for now. As I said a minute ago, if you've got any specific questions, write to me directly. I'll put my contact details on the bottom of the video. But until then, I hope your training goes well, carry on the good nutrition, and I'll see you on the start in a couple of weeks' time. Bye for now.